industry and longevity, with both science and how to communicate and why this is important and so on. So I believe I am at war with aging, and more specifically cellular degeneration. Do you want to know how you will die in this room, everyone? A third of you will die of heart disease. A third of you will die of cancer, and the rest will be lucky enough to pick some other goodies off of this man. And sarcopenia will wreak havoc in all of our lives, leading to frailty and broken hips. So life expectancy has been increasing steadily for a long time, but it's mostly due to antibiotics, immunization, sanitization, stuff like that. And you know, people used to gather on their child's deathbed to watch them suffer being consumed by bacterial disease, and that feels barbaric, right? We wouldn't want to go back. And I think in the future we'll zoom out and look back at these ages where we didn't have anti-aging therapies and think how barbaric we just let these beautiful, wise people rot away from the inside from aging. But aging is natural, a lot of people say, you know, and it's inevitable. We'll talk a bit about that later, but this whole natural thing, well, a lot of things were natural. We wouldn't combine the water with feces again to bring cholera back. We didn't used to think that cancer or Alzheimer's or heart disease are diseases. It's just like people aged and died. We didn't know why. And you know, people thought we shouldn't use antibiotics because people are going to be living longer. What are we going to do? By the year 2000, they thought, they had a gathering in Rome, like 1960. By the year 2000, we're going to eat each other. It didn't happen. So this whole natural causes, that, like people say, I don't want to get diseases. Okay, diseases are bad, but it's fine if I just die in my sleep of natural causes. But there's no such thing as natural causes. Basically, all of these diseases go up exponentially with time as you age, and 80% of people 65 and over have at least 2 of these age-related diseases. And for example, smoking is bad, right? Increases your chances 5 times of getting cancer. But actually, you know what's worse? If you age from 20 to 70, you increase your chances by 1,000x of getting cancer. And you know, even if you did, for example, everyone agrees we should cure cancer, right? That's amazing, and it is. It's hard, and I completely agree. But just curing cancer itself would only increase average lifespan by about 2 years, because, as I said, all of these go exponentially with time, and you would quickly die of something else. So, Dr. Robert De Grey at the Sense Research Foundation looks at it very nicely with these 4 categories. Like, we have these infectious diseases, when we treat them accordingly, we have congenital diseases, and then we have these chronic age-related diseases in the 3rd category, like Alzheimer's and so on. And there's this 4th category, this completely different thing called aging itself, like sarcopenia and frailty and so on. When in fact, actually, there's no difference between the 3rd and 4th category. It's just a nomenclature thing. So aging is caused by physics, not biology. Just like a car, you know, with time, metal rusts, parts, you know, filters clog, and so on. And our bodies are just mechanical systems as well. They're just machines, and they do get bombarded with trillions of tiny processes, with you know, from cosmic radiation, solar radiation, oxygenation, and our own metabolism and so on. And we do have mechanisms to fix the damage that accumulates, but with age, it doesn't work as well anymore. It's less effective. And so Dr. De Grey looks at it this way. Look, we have metabolism, it causes damage, and then eventually you get the pathology. And medicine right now is trying to kind of come in when you're already sick and keep you alive but it's palliative care, and just keeping you in a poor state of health for longer. And that's pretty sad, and I think it's a failure on our medical community. So basically, what we want to do is extend the healthy part of your life, and as a side effect, you would maybe live longer, or at least you would be healthy. And as I was saying, because most people don't just die in their sleep, but we do have like super centenarians that are just perfectly healthy, and then one day they just don't wake up. And I mean, at least for that, we should work on preventatively instead of, as already looks at it, like geriatrics comes after the damage is done, and therapies get less and less effective because more damage accumulates, obviously. We have also the gerontology approach, which is trying to understand metabolism and make it run more smoothly. Unfortunately, of course, metabolism is really complicated, and this is just a small part of what we know, and we don't even know how much we don't know. And with cars, for example, they weren't designed to last 150 years, but we have cars that are still running. We can maintain them and so on. And so what Aubrey de Grey proposed and kind of revolutionized this field, which was very fringe before, was to come in and fix the damage as it accumulates and basically prevent them from causing pathology. And he categorized these 7 categories. Other people have other ways to categorize them, but the point is it's a finite amount, and we can generalize therapies for each one of them. I can go through each one of them if you'd like later. And so there are different approaches. There's people, and I don't say that it's not a good idea to work on the gerontology approach, make it smoother, like prevent damage from accumulating so much and so on. But I think it's going to be a lot longer. It's going to take us a lot longer. And also there is the whole thing of how we treat diseases, FDA approvals, all this stuff, clinical trials, because if you have just healthy people and you say, oh, let me give you these drugs which might have some side effects to make you, not age as fast, that's a bit hard to prove, the risk-benefit analysis. But if you have some plaque in your brain and you might get Alzheimer's, for example, we can just say, look, this therapy just reverses some of that plaque. And you can actually see it. You can see the biomarkers, you can see all that stuff. And maybe even be healthier noticeably. So it feels like this can be done much sooner in the next few years. And so also, we did see that aging is really, really plastic. It's malleable. We can take, for example, a mouse, which lives for like 6 to 8 months, and we put it in a cage in a lab, safe environment with no dangers in diet, a good diet. It lives up to 18 months, and then we can do calorie restriction in some breeds, and it can go up to 30 months. But without any diet or exercise, we can change one gene and lives to 60 months. So this whole thing is becoming an industry now. It's a huge industry. This is just the California kind of companies and investment funds and so on. And we have we're tracking where the therapies are going. We have some therapies in phase 2 and phase 3 human trials. Companies valued at with $1 billion valuation, some of them even before having an actual product. So there is some hype there as well, but there is progress, and even though most of them are like preclinical or phase 1, if we invest more and if more people would switch to work on these, I think we would advance them much faster. And if you'd like to know a bit about funding, there's a bunch of pots of money out there, too many to list, but I took a few, like Knowledge Ventures, which have a subsidiary called Rejuvenation Capital, and they have a consortium at King's College, our aging research at King's. There's Longevity Fund in California by this genius Laura Deming, and she started from like age 12 to go to graduate courses and stuff like that, so biochemistry to solve aging. Maybe similar to our own Anton here. Smart people everywhere. So they also have an accelerator, age 1, which they give you seed funding, which is an idea. Also personal grants. So if you just want to work on this, you just tell them why you're interested in. They award grants quite frequently. There's Apollo Ventures in Berlin. They are very good at also at well, longevity fund as well. They have 1 to 5 labs. They're doing companies inside their fund. But also Apollo Ventures is great with making their own incubation. There's Y Combinator as well with YC Bio. They, are the most successful seed fund, and I think it's very good to try to get money from there. That's a very good source. There's other funds like Methuselah Fund from Methuselah Foundation, Kizu Ventures. Sense Research Foundation is also awarding, and they're spinning off a lot of companies from inside their foundation. Felicis Ventures, which is a really great VC firm, is getting into aging and longevity now. They didn't used to. It's cool that they actually allocate 1% of their funding, non-diluting capital, to founder development. Innovate UK is an interesting organization within the UK Research and Innovation Fund. They have a lot of stuff going on. There's something, there's an accelerator that has a deadline in November 4th or 7th, something like that soon. And there's a lot of angel investors as well. So getting back to, are we saying that we're gonna do therapy now and they're gonna live forever, 1,000 years or whatever? No, what we're saying is that we will make you healthier so that you can reach longevity escape velocity. Basically, let's say you're 42, 5 years pass by, you get 2 more years from these therapies, another 5 years, 4 years more, and so on, and eventually you reach here. So it is very important that, because the difference of about 1 day could make the difference of which side of the chasm you will be on. So this is a very good argument of like why you, even if you make a difference of 1 day, you might save yourself. And also 1 day means 100,000 lives. That's basically like 1 second, 1 life. So think about that. So there is a huge impact. Humanitarian impact as well. And there's nothing more important than this. There's nothing you could do that would have more impact in the world. So I used to look at this, that like, biology is hard. Turns out actually it is very feasible. Our biological systems are technological systems that we can hack. And it's also really fun. The more I studied biochemistry and genetics, genomics, I was just in awe of how amazing this stuff is. And it's, even if you take this project on, like curing aging, it could be anything. And you might say, well, I have other more fun stuff to do, like a random fun project. But if you cure aging first, then you can do another random fun project afterwards. Whereas if you take option 2, you're dead. If you take option 1, you can do another one, and so on. So I do think that this is the most important project. We should kind of set aside our differences and work together to make an impact here. And everyone can contribute somehow with, even if it's funding, even if it's advocacy, just even at the dinner table, even with your friends, even at in the social media or press or anything, or doing the science yourself. If you like to do that, you can make an impact. And I call on you to join me in this work. Let's fight. Thank you.